Today I'll be taking a look at the GameSir T4 Pro wireless controller. So what's in the box? We have the controller, we have the 2.4 GHz wireless controller, USB-A, we have the phone holder, I'll get to that in a minute, charging cable, also USB connection, and we also have a manual. There is no software with this controller. Everything that you can do with it happens on the controller itself using key combinations. So let's talk about the connections. Okay, we have wireless 2.4 GHz with the dongle, and we also have Bluetooth connection to connect with your phones or tablets. We have the USB-C connection over here so that you can charge it while playing, and you can also use just the USB connection as a wired controller. If you hold down the Y and the home button, you can pair it with the wireless dongle. If you hold down the B and the home button, you will activate the Bluetooth mode, and that will connect with the Bluetooth device. The phone holder clips onto these grooves over here, and then you can plug in your phone inside this connector. Okay, just slides out like that. Okay, let's take a closer look at the controller. Okay, for those of you familiar with Xbox controllers, you'll find it to be very similar, with two slight changes. One, you have a turbo button, which acts like a kind of a macro key, and you have a dedicated home button instead of the Xbox logo button. Okay, we have our right buttons, left buttons, and our triggers, but we also have some extra dedicated 4 macro buttons at the bottom, which can be programmed. Okay, I don't really use them, but I'll still tell you how to program them. So once you have the device charged, so plug in the USB cable, the device will be charged. There's an LED indicator over here. When the LED lights become stable, that means it has been charged completely. If it's blinking, that means it is still charging. I will use the USB 2.4 connection to plug it in. As you can see, the light is blinking over here. That means it's looking for a connection. Okay, so if you're connecting the controller for the very first time using wireless, you want to hold down the Y button and the home button at the same time, and it will turn on and it will look for the connection. If you have already connected it, you do not need to do that. You just hold down the home button, it will turn on, and when this light becomes stable over here, that means it has connected. Also, you will notice the red light on the dongle has also become stable. That's very important. In the beginning, I've once used it and it was still working while it was blinking, but the connection was not stable. So please make sure that your connection is stable in this way. Okay, as you can see, we have backlighting around our X, Y, A, B keys and the right joystick. Okay, one thing I like about this controller is the backlight is controllable within the controller itself. Okay, all you have to do is hold down the triggers, hold down the right joystick button, and use the up or down D-pad keys, and there are different 1, 2, 3, 4 levels of brightness and off. Okay, you can also adjust the vibration of the motors inside by holding down the turbo button and using the D-pad up key or the D-pad down key. All right, and you can turn it off completely as well. So now it's completely for those quiet gaming moments. All right, the macro keys. How can we control the macro keys? You can set them to be in 2 possible ways. You can either set them to press multiple buttons simultaneously at the same time. So for example, let's say I want to press X and A together at the same time. So instead of using this, I can set the macro button. I'll use macro 3 over here. I'll use macro 3 over here. How I will do this is I will hold down the select button and I'll hold down that macro key at the same time. So I'll press them together. When I press them together, you can see this turns purplish. That means the macro mode is on. Okay, now I want to press down those 2 buttons together. Okay, and I want to press the macro key again. It turns off. So now if I press that button, it will be registering as both of these buttons pressing. If I press this button here, it will register as both of these buttons pressing together. Okay, now if I want them to press not together, but one by one, so I want in a sequentially. So if I want these buttons to work sequentially instead, Okay, so now instead of holding the select and the macro, I'm going to hold the start and the macro. I'm going to press those two together. And now I press the A first and then the X next, and then I press the button again. And now whenever I press that button, it's going to play AX. It's going to do that move. I think these kind of buttons are probably going to be useful for fighting games like Tekken or Street Fighter. The games that I play, I don't really have any use for these kind of macros. Like I said before, we have this connector for holding up a phone. Even though it's very stable, I like the build quality of it and everything. One thing that I do not like about this is that it has a very little travel distance towards the back. So as you can see, the angle is quite steep. I kind of need to hold it and kind of twist the controller away from me for the screen to be pointing at me. The angle is quite steep, and it does not go back any more than this because it's blocked by some plastic parts. It can go forward to close it down, but it can't go further back than this. So I think this is something that could have needed a bit of an improvement. I think they need to create the plastic blocks in a way that allows it to go back a little bit further for more comfortable viewing. Okay, so final verdict. I've been using this for about 2 months now. One thing that I was concerned about, well, since I have 2 of them, I'll show you the white one as well. I have the white one here. When I got them, I was a bit worried about the signals clashing. And what happened to me the very first time I used them both together was that I did not wait for the light to blink, to stop blinking, to become stable. So make sure that if you are having 2 or more of them, connect one at a time, wait for the connection to be stable, and then connect the other one and wait for their connection to be stable. Once I did that, then I had no issues at all. There was no interference, there was no clashing. They were working fine, both. It's definitely a better choice rather than the Xbox controllers, which are like twice the price in where I live. I got this for about $35 maybe, right? And for that price, I'm quite happy with it. I've had no issues. I personally, if you look at the triggers are quite flat and wide. These feel much more comfortably in my fingers. I'm also glad that these buttons are positioned in a way that I've never accidentally pressed them. So even if I do set them to something, I've never accidentally pressed them. Okay, battery life is quite good because I've only charged the white one that I use regularly. I've only charged this about twice till now, in about a month and a half. Now, granted, I don't play on them too much. The fact that you can play while charging as well is always a plus point. If you need any further clarification, you can always refer to the manual. My cat tried to read this manual, apparently, and she failed. But yes, all of the things that I've mentioned are written inside the manual on how to change modes or set up the macro buttons. Once you plug it off right here, it will start to blink. That means it's lost connection. Okay, and after a few seconds, it will just turn down to save battery. Also, even if you're connected, it will turn off automatically after about a minute, I believe. A minute or 2 minutes, it will turn off to save battery. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you.